Definitely. I'm seeing that now with a couple engineering and construction firms I'm working with. Amazing entrepreneurs have built incredible businesses, some family run, some not. But yeah, it's the same idea that they're just taking on so much work themselves, instead of like building a really great team around them. I guess the flip side of the principles that you that mentioned that I think people equally benefit from is what things should you avoid when you're trying to build or these businesses? Like what mistakes that you've learned are like the big ones that you should look for those potholes? Because what I've found is that if you find enough mistakes to be aware of, and or enough, how do you say, lava pits or quicksand, if you
Yep.
if you can just avoid those things, you can make it so much farther than even if you're not following all of these principles. You're not catastrophically destroying your business. Is there anything that off the top of your head or over so much experience that you've had that you're like, you should really be on the lookout for X, Y, and Z if you're an entrepreneur?
Do not give away or sell your equity. Way too many. I mean, think about my first story. They were my best friends, by the way. But I have this idea. It was kind of an idea that I generated. I had some capital I could have infused in it. And I said, hey, let's start this business and let's just own it a third, a third, a third. Hey, Michael,
Right.
come work for my company. I'll give you 10%. These things happen all the time. Entrepreneurs just kind of give away their
Uh,
equity like it's playing cards. Like, yeah, here you go. Like, here's some, let's get this thing going, right?
right.
Own as much of your equity as possible and protect it at all costs. If you do that, you can grow your business slowly and persevere through all these moments. And one way to do that, as I mentioned before, is you got to generate your own cash. Because if you're going to the bank to get debt, or you're going to get investors, like so many people start their business, like, I got to go get some investors. I'm like, why? Why I need some investors
Yes.
to build this product? Why? Like, build your
Amen.
product, go sell your product, bring some money in, reinvest the money in your business, and control 100%. Don't go to, if you're trying to be the next Google, okay, maybe, but I think you should think through protecting your equity at all costs, which means make every single decision like you're going to hold your own equity for the rest of time.
That's incredible. Yes, I talk to a lot of friends about this when they're talking about getting investment. I'm like, do you need investment? Like, getting investment does not mean that you're successful or that the business is successful. It just means it could be the first step to the business failing. Like, because if you started this business to have control over this and build your own dream, well, you're selling off parts of that dream to someone that ends up eventually could be your boss. Like, as you can completely illustrate it in that first story. I
Not
mean,
even eventually. They are your boss.
yeah, right.
Somebody
Yeah,
gives you money, even in a minority stake. By the way, this is a piece I didn't even share. The private equity company that put $20 million in the business owned a minority stake of the business. But they basically, in essence, took control of the board and said, "Hey, if you guys want more money from us, here's what we're gonna do. Here's what we gotta do." And we're like, at the end of the day,
no
anybody putting
way.
money into a venture, whether a minority owner or not, becomes your boss. You need
Oh,
to kind of please them and make them happy, and or they'll cause problems for you.
wow. Because I assume that you just gave up a controlling stake with your business partners, and that they were able to stay through the board. But no, they were poisoning the well to be like, it's a bit of boardroom extortion to
Yeah,
be
if
like,
you don't do this, we're going to do X, Y, Z. If you don't do it our way, you're not going to get the more money we said we were going to put in after we get to this day. They become the big person in the room, right? But it could be
right.
a smaller level. I give you some money. I'm going to own 10% of your business, and I don't like what you're doing. I'm going to be a thorn in your side. So you just got to
Yeah.
think really carefully about that, right? As opposed to do it. If you were on Shark Tank with Mark Cuban, he'd be like, go sell your product, get the revenue, control your business, and keep building, right?
Right.
Why do you need investors? Don't go get investors.
Yeah, I think Sarah Blakely is one of the best examples of that. I mean, when she built Spanx,
Yeah.
for one, she could not find anyone to manufacture that, and every step of the way, someone wanted to give her money, but she was making enough. And then fast forward, however many years, she's the sole owner of $1 billion company that I believe she's now sold. But I think that part of like reaching into the knowing that we have in our hearts, in our
Yeah.
in our soul, however you want to look at it, and to be like, well, do I need to do this, or do I think I have to
That's
do
right.
this?
That's right.
And if you have patient ambition, then you end up being a lot more in control. I really hope you use that as the title for your next book.
Already in progress, my friend. Yeah,
It's
already in
so great.
progress.
Look,
Yeah,
when is that book going to come out?
probably 26.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've had such a shitty writing year. If you could give me now to go tangential for a second, what is your practice with all the things that you're doing? What's your practice to make sure that you're putting a dent in that book every day?
So these conversations,
Mm,
um, hopefully I'm in the application process right now, or the audition process, I should say, for a TEDx talk coming up
cool.
on this particular big idea and subject. So the talking track is around that. And I already have, kind of the outline of where that's at. I think the timing for me is specifically because I just launched my first book, The $100 Million Journey, and a lot of focus is on that one. I'm kind of spacing that particular project out, but it's a project for 2025 for me that will be ready for release in 2026.
Okay, and it's going to be in the entrepreneur space, I imagine.
No, not necessarily, but because I think that concept of patient ambition applies to everything. Everything. If you
Yeah, I
if you
think you're
think
right.
about our kids, if you think about finding a mate, if you think about careers, even if you're not starting a business, your career, having patient ambition, to not just jump ship if you don't like something, and find the right company, and persevere through some of the moments. The CEOs of some of these large companies, because they've been there 30 years, they worked
Right.
through those opportunities. So patient ambition applies to a lot of things in life. So it's not necessarily going to be just a business book, but unfortunately, because of my background, it'll probably be slightly angled that way.